There's a crisis going on at the moment. I see it every day, not just in myself, but all around me. It's the person who's still planning and thinking about the business they said they were going to start a year ago. It's that friend who wants to write a book, but comes up with every excuse not to just sit down and do the work. Or maybe it's you. You have so many ideas, you know you have so much potential, but you just haven't been able to do the work. If you haven't guessed yet, the crisis that I'm talking about is the crisis of inaction. Call it analysis paralysis, call it overthinking, call it laziness, call it whatever you want, but it all boils down to inaction. And my unpopular opinion is that 95% of inaction stems from an unwillingness to sit down and consistently work on something, anything, because consistent effort and output is hard. It always has been, and it always will be. But in the information age, we think, at least on a subconscious level, that there should be some sort of hack or shortcut. After all, we're not factory workers, at least most of us aren't. We're not really in the industrial age anymore. We're knowledge workers. And so there should be a more efficient way to do things. So we keep seeking that next piece of information that will inspire us, motivate us, and make everything click. It might be the next self-help book, or the tweet thread, or the YouTube video. Ironic, I know. Except all this does is feed the dopamine monster. You feel good when you consume it, but when you look back, it hasn't helped you do any work. So the crisis of inaction is not due to a lack of information. If anything, the abundance of information is a cause for distraction and analysis paralysis. It makes it harder for us to actually sit down and just focus on something. So what should you do about it? And I mean this personally. You can't fix this problem on a mass scale. How do you fix it in your life? Well, let me suggest a kind of radical approach, a challenging one, but one that if followed will kick you into gear and help you build massive momentum. I call it the work sprint, a period of intense, consistent focus towards one project or one goal in order to build confidence, build momentum, and change your behavior from procrastinator to achiever. So here's how you can do it. First, you pick something that you want to work on. This should be a project or a goal. It might be something like filming YouTube videos, or writing the first draft of a book, or building some sort of digital product. The key here is to not overthink the project or goal and not sit there for weeks deciding what to do before starting the work sprint. At the end of the day, something is better than nothing, and you don't want to be the person who's just sitting there for months on end still deciding. There's two requirements for your project or goal. It can't just be anything. It needs to be measurable and it needs to be controllable. For example, if I just say, well, I want to become a better YouTuber. Well, that's not measurable and that's not controllable. There's no metrics there. But if I say, I want to make $1,000 from YouTube, that's measurable. I can know when I've achieved it versus not achieved it. However, it's not controllable. I can't change markets. I can't guarantee that I can make that money. But if I say I'm going to publish 4 YouTube videos in a month, that is measurable and it's controllable. I control the output. I'm not relying on anything else. I'm not relying on external forces, and it's measurable. I know when I've achieved it. So you want it to be measurable and controllable. Once you've chosen your project or your goal, you want to choose a sprint length and also set your focus hours. So I recommend 21 days minimum, and also 90 minutes of focused work every day minimum. Personally, I like to do 30 days sprint length and 3 to 4 hours of focused work per day, but I know that's not feasible for everyone. But I do recommend at least 90 minutes. Now, be warned, if you're a chronic procrastinator and you're not used to actually doing 90 minutes of focused work, you will find this hard. You'll find it extremely challenging at times, so don't expect it to be easy, but do it anyway. And the third and final thing is to make a commitment, a clear commitment, and then get to work. And ideally you have people that hold you accountable. I'll get to that in a moment. Once you've started the sprint, the most important thing is that you don't quit and you don't change your project or your goal, because you'll likely be tempted to, especially if you're someone who tends to overthink or fall into analysis paralysis. It's crucial that you shut that overthinking part of your brain off and just do the work that needs to be done every day, whether you feel like it or not. Because these work sprints can be life-changing. They're super powerful. They help you build momentum because you're spending a consistent period of time, you're working every day towards something that changes your behavior in a way that you can carry it on even after the sprint. But they also help you build confidence. A lot of people I talk to who are in that kind of overthinking, analysis paralysis trap. They may not admit it, but on a subconscious level, they lack confidence. They feel like they can't actually sit down and do the work. And when they look back at the past 6 to 12 months and they realize they haven't really done much, it kind of weighs on them. And they wonder if they're ever going to get out of that hole or that trap. So a work sprint helps you get out of that, and it builds confidence so that you can point to it and go, actually, I can sit down and do something for a month and ship it, and get it done and achieve something. And that's a powerful thing. Now, it's worth mentioning that the most difficult part of doing a work sprint is starting it and sticking to it. So to increase your chances of succeeding with a work sprint, it's very helpful to have the right environment and some solid accountability. That's why I'm launching the first ever work sprint cohort. Here's how it works. You'll join a community filled with people all doing the same sprint, working towards some sort of individual goal or project. It's an environment of people who want to change, who want to build, who want to make progress, who want to just get the work done. You'll commit to a minimum of 90 minutes of focused work per day for 30 days. You can do more than this if you like, but that's a minimum. 90 minutes a day, 30 days. Every day after you've completed your 90 minutes or more of focused work hours, you'll do what's called a daily check-in. This will just be a screenshot showing that you've done the work, or maybe a short video or some other type of proof. This is a great way to keep the accountability strong because you have to show that you're sticking to the schedule and sticking to the sprint. We'll also do a bunch of live work sessions where we'll jump on Zoom, we'll all be on mute, we'll focus for 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break. This is great, especially if you work from home or you're a solopreneur and you just want that extra little bit of accountability. Now, all of this takes place in a shared Slack community that is buzzing with a do what it takes energy and consistent daily wins being posted. It's going to be a great environment, I'm sure. Now, there is a fee to join this cohort. It's not free. Number of reasons for that. One being commitment, putting money down, you have more skin in the game. And second, it's taking a lot of time for me to put this together. So that's why there's a fee. But if you want to finally kick your procrastination habit and you want to build massive relentless action towards a project, towards a goal, then I encourage you to sign up. You can check the link below to learn more about it and get inside. Thanks for watching. And even if you don't join the Work Sprint cohort, I do encourage you to do this by yourself to really kick things into gear and start getting things done.